6 feet apart with Christi.
And Casey.
You have stepped into our bubble. How we used to do this again?
I don't remember.
Oh, hey Casey.
Hey, Christi.
What is going on?
We took a little break.
Yeah, it's been a while. A little
but
bit.
We're back.
We are happy to be back.
Happy to be back. I don't know. Do you want to? I know I kind of said I wanted to talk about Britney, but
Yes.
I was really fired up about it. But we can also just go back and talk about something we've watched if we don't want to really.
No, let's stick with Britney.
You want to stick with Britney? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's not our main topic today, but
It is not.
We'll try and a bit address Britney.
Yeah, our homegirl.
So free Britney.
Free Britney 100%.
Yeah. I've gotten so much more mad about this
Me
the
too.
more that's come out.
Me too.
When I first kind of heard about it, it's not like I didn't agree with free Britney, but I'm just this is not I just can't get there wrapped up in celebrity
Seems silly,
issues.
Fanish.
Yeah, exactly. But man, it's
Yeah.
crazy. And I just don't understand if there's other people in this situation or if this is truly a very unique situation.
This, I don't know, it feels very unique. I can also, I feel like one thing is God bless her fans, because I think at the very beginning they were, that this free Britney thing started from them, and it was them thinking that something was wrong, even when she was saying everything was okay, her fans were like, something's not right, somebody has her trapped.
Yeah.
And everybody was just like, okay.
Right.
And then now you're just like, damn, they were on it, man. They were on it.
And I think it's, even everything that's come out, I think it's even more sinister
It's horrible.
than we know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think she's pretty drugged, so I think
Agreed.
there's only so much she can tell
Agreed.
us and even possibly remember.
Which makes it even more sad to take away her own bearings.
It's just crazy no one could just go and free her.
Exactly. But one thing I'm seeing is that now that she's spoken up, and we do have very large social media platforms that, you have people who are jumping ship now, right? So I'm like, okay, well, is that what it took?
Yeah.
That she finally got an opportunity to voice for herself, and now all of a sudden everybody's now all of a sudden her mom is saying,
yeah, her sister finally.
her sister spoke up, mom spoke up. It's where have y'all been all these years?
Because she finally said something.
Yeah.
That's clearly why.
Yeah, that's terrible though.
I just don't get why people don't realize that multiple things could be true. So even if her dad and all the people in the conservatorship, if their side has a lot of truth that she does have these issues with mental health and all that, so plenty of people do. That doesn't mean they don't have agency over their life. And that, I think, is what gets me, because even if most of what they're saying is true, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
If she wants to throw away all her money, that's her life. If she wants to have 20 kids, that's her life.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just so weird that the courts there is a mechanism that someone can have complete control over another adult's life.
And I think it is shining light on cases with people with disabilities and stuff like that, because you've heard that a lot, with saying that they don't have control over their own person,
right?
Simply because of a disability or something like that. So it is shining a light on conservatorship, but it just feels really, really bad when this is somebody who, like you said, maybe she did have a mental health issue, but okay, and
I don't get it. And I think when all the stuff came out about her saying they won't let her have kids and stuff that's just,
it's sad.
That's, I don't know.
Yeah.
The fact that this is such a slow process, I don't even understand.
Her just saying, I just want to ride in a car with my boyfriend, felt like she sounded like a 15-year-old, yeah, that's just, it's really pathetic.
I hope now that it's gotten so much attention that we'll just be over soon? I mean, obviously this is all
I think it
about
will.
her money, right?
Yeah.
And that's why this is all
The main
happening.
thing is, yeah. But I think it will. I think it's gotten too much attention now.
I know.
That,
Like, what was his plan? Just to, like, have control over her for the rest
keep
of,
doing
I guess,
it.
his life? Cause
Yeah.
I don't get what the overall, what the end,
Yeah.
how he thought this would all end.
I mean, I think at one point she felt as if he wanted to just like drug her to death,
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, I guess if he just, kept drugging her.
Yeah. Or have her give up, you
There's
know.
so many people that need to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, truly. And that'll come
it's
out.
so
I think that'll
wild.
come out.
Yeah.
So, you know.
All right. Free
But-
Britney.
Yeah, free Britney. All right, so what we talking about today?
Something pretty different. Today we're talking about aliens.
Ooh.
Yeah, extraterrestrials.
Yeah.
UFOs.
The ETs.
Yeah.
So we should probably do the kind of main start here, which is, do we believe in them at all?
Yes.
Yes, you believe
I
in aliens.
I believe in aliens. Yes, I can like say just that sentence.
Okay.
I believe in aliens.
Okay. Can you tell me like in what way do you believe in them?
Yeah, I think it's funny. I feel very strongly that I believe in aliens. But I think my the way I believe in it might not be as like exciting as how other people believe in aliens. I don't know. I think it's exciting, but I think I don't relate to a lot of people that believe in aliens, even though I like very strongly believe in aliens.
Right.
So if we say at the very basic level that aliens are just life in another planet or somewhere outside Earth,
Okay.
maybe not even a planet. If you say alien is any type of life outside of Earth, I'd say 100% yes. I believe in aliens.
So could that be a flower?
Sure.
Okay.
And if we say aliens are intelligent life
Right.
outside of Earth, which I don't know where you know, is a dog intelligent? What exactly is
Right.
that? Is a human the lowest of intelligent life? I don't know. I don't know if you want to like dive into what you think. I don't know if there's an exact definition. I would say like, so the first one 100% intelligent life, 95% yes.
Gotcha. So you think that there is intelligent life somewhere outside of Earth?
Yes.
Like possible human, quote unquote, form?
No, not anything like humans. But
Okay.
so, yeah, we can get into this a little more later. I think because you're using the term alien, it's like we compare it too much with humans.
Right.
But yeah, intelligence in some way.
Okay.
How about what do you think?
Okay, so if it's when I think of the term and the idea of an alien, I think about intelligent life. I think about the ability to think or be conscious to some degree.
Okay. So does a dog count? If there was a dog equivalent, is that an alien?
Yeah, so if there was
Okay.
a dog equivalent, then yes, I
Okay.
would say that. But I don't think that there is. I don't think that in the way that I can only perceive it, right, which is against the spectrum of human and animal and all that other
monkeys,
kind.
humans,
Yeah. I don't think that exists outside of Earth.
Okay.
Do I think that other things are growing and stuff out there? Yeah. I just don't know about consciousness.
Okay.
And that's how
Yeah.
I perceive an alien.
I think they're both like they're almost. It's funny. They're such different questions, but they're almost the same question because first of all, we haven't officially found either. So we haven't.
Correct.
You know, we can talk about conspiracy theories, but we haven't found the flower or the worm.
Correct.
So there's been all we found so far is like, oh, this planet might be able to support something growing.
Correct.
So
exactly.
they're both interesting questions in that sense because, we haven't officially found either. And then also, if you believe in evolution, this all kind of goes into each other. So if you do believe there's a fish or
Right.
a worm, shouldn't that eventually be a monkey or a human over time? So it's like kind of the same question in a way.
Right.
But
And let's think about it like this, okay? So there's this, we know about the water bear, right? The tardigan,
yeah.
who is, gotta see it under a microscope, but it's like damn near indestructible
Yeah.
and can be frozen to death and everything else and just come on right back. Almost seems as if it doesn't even belong on this earth, right? It has also been shot into space several times.
Oh, really?
And there's a plan actually coming up for one of the next space flights to bring them along again.
Okay.
And they've gone to space, survived up there with the astronauts, and come back.
Yeah.
So I think if you think on that way, I mean, this is obviously to me a very evolutionary little creature.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can probably shoot that little fella into space, and it'll somehow figure out how to live through a couple of generations of itself and become an alien.
Yeah, sure. That's interesting.
Yeah. But as of right now, I'm not sure about that.
Okay, I think there's like, so this is why it's hard to explain. I think there's complete civilizations, like I think there's complex life out there.
Okay.
I think it's...
Where do you think it is?
I mean, it's infinite. Everything is infinite, so
Right.
it can be so far away. To me, though, the biggest issue I have in general with talking about aliens and talking and even depictions of aliens is that we do compare it so much to humans. So I just think alien can be possibly so alien.
Gotcha.
That means like an alien might not breathe. Like it can just be so different. Intelligence might mean something so different that it's so hard to really... I might not even have the words.
Right.
You know how like
I get that.
in other cultures they have language we don't even have. Like I read like in Alaska they have different words for different types of ice, but to us it's just ice.
Yeah.
So it just the idea that it's so foreign that we can't even conceptualize it.
I got you.
But I think it exists.
Okay. I mean, so the idea of and I almost hate the notion of like space because I feel as if it's so silly in a way of like just going to space.
Right.
But this universe is very massive and, like you said, very infinite. So yeah, I mean, I can see that something would be so far away that we couldn't even really put it together.
We can't.
How to even think about getting there, right? I mean, we see ourselves as kind of the most intelligent creature, but it's because we see ourselves as that. I mean, I'm sure the dog thinks it's smarter than me, you know. So yeah, in that way, I can see that.
Yeah, I think I mean I watched a few like space documentaries recently. One like quoted that there was like I think like 1 billion trillion planets that life could potentially live on. So the amount is just crazy. And then one gave an analogy that I actually thought wasn't that good because I think it's not strong enough.
Okay.
But I think it makes a good point. It just needs to be magnified. Someone's like, I think someone, a scientist who studies space, he's like, if you just drop a bucket into the ocean and pull it up, he's like, are you going to see a fish in it? Like, he's like, probably not. He's like, that's what, every time we've tried to, like, look at a planet or look at a star or something for life, that's essentially what we're doing, and there's just a whole ocean, and we have to spend so much focus. And I think it's not even good. That makes sense. I think it was a good comparison, but in my head, I'm like, well, even with the ocean, like, sometimes you will get a fish. So this is even more massive than the ocean. So it's just, we spend so much energy and time just looking at one planet, and there's a billion trillion, like, there's endless amounts. It's like, I don't know. There's no way to know.
Yeah, and I think too, I mean, so this brings up another point, and it is the way that the idea of alien and UFO, right, is kind of like represented in pop culture.
Right.
Right. And how it's presented to us. And so it almost sets us up in this way of feeling it as if it does have to be in a way related to human form.
Yes.
Related to, like, there has to be some physical ship, just as we would fly something to space, right? That it has to be some physical ship that has to get here. And not even something in maybe more of a spiritual realm.
Totally.
So the notion of the way it is depicted in pop culture, do you think that that kind of takes us away from true belief or brings us a little bit closer?
Yeah, so I'd be one to say that takes us away from true belief, or like I said, what I find to be true or what I believe to be true is really far removed from all that. Even though kind of that's like the culture you'd find of people that are into aliens.
Right.
I guess I'll ask you, you asked me, do I believe in aliens? So I'll ask you, like, do you believe in UFOs?
So, yes. Which is probably a little bit weirder to, but I think that a UFO is just literally an object that
Yeah,
we can identify.
I was going to say the same thing.
So, yeah, do I think that there's, just as we are trying to figure out how to get somewhere else, I do think that there are other things out there that don't look as if, current pop culture has them depicted, but that they, because these lives have to have some type of way of transporting themselves.
Okay, so you would say you believe in UFOs and that they are alien, that they're possibly alien, like what?
Right. I would
Okay.
think that they are possibly alien.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's funny, I would say, if you just asked me, I guess if I have to be literal, do you believe in UFOs? My answer is like, yes, they literally exist, I think, Obama recently did an interview about aliens.
Yeah.
And he's always very smart the way he chooses his words, so he's never being dishonest.
Right.
You can kind of believe what you want from it. So, the word UFO, like you said, means unidentified flying object.
Right.
It just means it's something in, flying that we haven't identified.
Correct.
So we can't even say that doesn't exist because
Correct.
it does exist. And I think something that was kind of, you can kind of always do that little like half smile. Just because it's not identified doesn't mean they don't have a pretty good idea on what it might be, or a few theories what it might be, whether that's alien or not.
Right.
So I think people forget that doesn't mean, it just means they can't say 100% sure what it is.
Right.
And then it's on this list of UFOs that the government has. So whereas I believe in aliens, I believe this life form's like very, very far away. I do not believe any of like, most likely this list of UFOs is alien.
Right. Okay.
I think some of it's like hoaxy. I think some of it might be like other governments and like war related from humans. Governments are up to shady things.
Yes. Always.
So there's no reason why like something in the air that we couldn't identify like isn't something from another country's military. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I just tend, again, because I believe life is so alien, and there's billions and trillions of planets, like, it just seems a little, I think we're just a little, like, obsessed with ourselves, thinking that, like, aliens are coming here and all that, so.
And okay, so that brings up another point, because whenever there's a discussion of aliens, UFO, stuff like that, it's literally always them trying to find this life on Earth, right? And, I think what would make them care to just pick Earth, right? I mean, what would make them say, oh, I believe that there are these human people down there. Let me go and see. Why wouldn't they go to any other planet?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they go to the moon? Why wouldn't they, why would they choose Earth?
Yeah.
And so when I think about the depiction in pop culture, that's another thing that I think about in the way that we always have these aliens coming to Earth to look for us, like we're so egotistical
We are.
in
We
that
are
way.
egotistical. But at the same time, I think it's a really good question. And
Mm-hmm.
for what I understand, like most scientists that are in this field do believe in aliens, but
Mm-hmm.
that is essentially the question they're trying to answer.
Right.
Not why they have come here, because I think they don't necessarily think they have, but
Right.
why haven't they, I guess.
Right.
Because most scientists believe in aliens, and they're like, well, why haven't they come here?
Right.
So I think either way, it's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's basically called the Fermi paradox.
Mm-hmm.
That is saying, because there are like billions and trillions of planets that there could be life on,
Mm-hmm.
intelligent life,
Mm-hmm.
that would be like so impossible almost that Earth is the only place.
Right.
Which means that if there are others, presumably more than one other place,
Right.
and we think we're kind of close to like exploring space and more planets. So if another civilization was just like a little more advanced than us, they should easily be able to space travel, you know?
Right.
Because technology is so exponential, and especially with like how kind of time travel works across planets.
Right.
Like an alien species that was just a tiny bit more advanced than us can easily just like hop from planet to planet, you know?
Or who is more advanced because of the different aspects of the planets, right?
Right.
So
exactly.
we are who we are because of the environment of Earth.
Exactly.
Right? So I mean, we're on the ground the way that we are because of our gravity.
Yeah.
But if you go to another planet, that's different.
Totally.
And so, they could be more developed, not because they're necessarily more intelligent, but just because they're living under a completely different environment of existence. So I do think if they are there, that is a good question. Then why haven't they come here? And we just keep believing, like, of course they're coming to look for us, but we still don't see that as of yet,
So I agree with you. I think, so there's like obviously a few theories to answer, like the paradox. And the one that I think we kind of are siding with is not the most popular one. So like obviously one popular answer is that we are the most intelligent life in all, out there. So, that's one, because someone has to be. Someone answers us, and we'll be the first one to like colonize space, essentially. That's one answer to it.
I feel like we're trying to do that.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
Right, but that's the thing. It's like if we're close, and by close I could even mean 500 years, 1,000 years.
Right.
But just someone a little more advanced could have already done it, like an alien a little more advanced.
Yeah.
Another theory is that there's only so advanced any society can get before they basically like self-destruct.
Right.
So they either have been in the past,
right,
like more advanced societies, and eventually you just like technologically get so advanced that you just like implode.
Yeah.
Also can see that.
Yeah.
And then what we were talking about, which I like, is that it's just too alien. So when we talk about, we almost have the technology to colonize space, another alien form, that wouldn't be what they would do,
Right.
They just, it's more of a spiritual, it's just something so different that we're trying to compare it as a race, but it's just a totally different type of being.
We have no clue.
Can't even conceptualize it.
And we can't conceptualize it because we have nothing to compare it to. We have nothing to go off of except our own existence.
Yeah.
So the only thing we know is that's why we have it in some type of human-like form, but yet, some odd-shaped head and, big eyes, which is so ridiculous.
But like this the neon green body.
And it goes like that. Yeah. But it is to try to make us believe that this is what something like that would look like because we have no other reference.
Yeah, I just can't believe we're so, like, not creative with it. Yeah. Especially, but we have, like, you said what was the animal you were just referencing?
Oh, the water bear.
Yeah, the water bear. Because we do have some very strange creatures here on Earth. You'd think we'd be able to get a little more creative with, like, how we can think of aliens.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like the other day I ran across a picture of somebody took a picture in their garden of, they call it a humming moth,
Okay.
and it it truly looks like a freaking alien creature. I mean, it's hummingbird slash moth slash shrimp.
Yeah.
All of this wrapped up in one really funny looking little thing. And if you saw it, you wouldn't have any clue. Is it a
I know.
hummingbird? Is it a moth? Is it a shrimp?
Yeah.
You don't know. But again, I feel as if we have creatures that we don't even know exist on this
For sure.
planet right
Especially
now.
in the ocean.
Oh my gracious! Like,
yeah.
because the ocean goes so far, we can't even get there.
I know. And stuff gets real alien looking down in the ocean, like.
And we could never get there.
I know. So cool.
Even like the water bear. I mean, I'm sure the water bear had evolved to whatever it is now before we ever discovered that this creature even existed, because we can't see it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if a part of alien life existing is not necessarily out of this world, so to speak, but a part of where we're living.
Right. Like, if there's
know?
something here that originally came
Yeah.
from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Definitely possible.
Yeah. Like I said,
Why
like I feel
not?
as if the water bear could
Right.
survive.
Especially if you take the theory that, like, civilizations eventually, like, implode. Like, what if there was a civilization a long time ago that got very advanced, mostly imploded, but some escaped and went elsewhere? Like
Exactly.
Earth.
Exactly.
I mean, it could
We
be
have
true.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that whole notion of the scattering,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so when you think about the notion of the whole scattering to different countries, which is how it's supposed to be like biblically depicted.
Yeah.
But it's that whole idea of like the scattering to different places, and that's how you got there. So we have no clue, even the notion of the Big Bang, right? We have absolutely no clue if we were just all
Yeah.
scattered from one place and happened to be here and evolve from here.
Yeah. It's funny to think, like, say there are advanced alien civilizations right now that, like, do space travel.
Mm-hmm.
That if there's just, like, there's so many, like, planets with places that, like, and the Earth is just lame and they just, like, haven't come here yet, but, like, literally we wake up tomorrow and, like, they're here, and they've been, like, hopping from planet to planet all this time, and they just, like, haven't bothered that much with Earth yet, like, and, like, tomorrow. I don't know, it's just wild, like,
because they think we're pretty lame.
Yeah, but it's just, like, possible, so that's what's so...
Oh, it's totally, I mean, look at us,
cool.
right?
Yeah.
And, like I said, the whole idea of intelligent life and us believing we're the most intelligent is because it's us.
Yeah.
So, of course, we're not going to think the giraffe is smarter than us,
Right.
So...
It's just, it's mathematically just, like, impossible that there's no one else. Almost. Obviously, it's, like, the tiniest chance of possibility.
Right.
But why would there be billions of trillions of planets?
Yeah, all of these like this large, like, why would there be such a massive universe?
I know.
Massive.
Yeah.
That you could never, ever, ever see the end of or get to the end to.
I know.
And somehow, that universe was only made for us, for the creatures on one planet. So what's the point of the other ones? What's the point of all of it?
It just seems impossible, right?
Yeah, and why would you need all the other planets? You don't need the other planets to, like, sustain the other stars in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
So I guess just to circle back to, if you think that the UFOs might be alien, I guess, like, why do you think that they would come here? Any thoughts?
The lights are on, like, I think that if you look at every other planet, I feel as if those planets are still somehow that as far as we know, in a somewhat of a natural state, right? But if you look at Earth, Earth looks lit up. It looks like something is happening there. If nothing was happening here, it wouldn't look the way that it did. So if there was some other type of intelligent life, then I would think that they could look out on planet Earth and say, wait a minute, that something is going on. We're lit up.
Yeah. Okay, but so what do they?
Yeah.
Do they? Any idea? Like, do they want to kill us? Or are they just curious? Like.
I think it would be curiosity.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's curiosity. So there was I think it was Unsolved Mysteries, where these people in this episode of Unsolved Mysteries, where these people were in a certain city, and believe truly, like all the people in this town believe that they were abducted.
Yes.
And the funny thing about it is that their whole notion of abduction fits the pop culture narrative of if aliens came and they have the UFO and they beam the light down and then you go up, as if they want you. And again, I feel as if that is really just an egotistical type of mindset. I don't think they care.
Massachusetts, I think.
Yeah.
I had originally watched that one because I watched all the new Unsolved Mysteries because I was a big fan of the show back when I was little.
Yes.
And so I rewatched that episode recently, and it annoyed me even more.
Really?
Than when I originally watched it.
Why is
I'm
that?
not, for the reasons you said.
Yeah.
I think I was going into it with even more like skepticism than the first time because I was recently watching all these more like scientific documentaries about aliens, and I did not trust them at all. Like you said, it was so uncreative.
Yeah.
Like their descriptions.
Yeah.
There's no way alien life wouldn't be more interesting and alien than that,
Right.
And I think what really got me is obviously these people got a lot of attention from like media, and the main guy, now he says it's happening to him like all the time. He's like, oh, it's happened to me 10 more times that I've been abducted, and I mean, clearly that's how you keep the media on you.
Yeah,
so
give me a break.
I was just shocked at how uncreative their stories were.
Yeah. It really was the whole movie script style abduction.
I know.
But again, I don't think that if there was something else that came to this earth, which like I said, Earth, if there were no people here, we wouldn't look the way that we look from another planet. We wouldn't look the way that we look from out there. Okay, so they come here. I don't think it's an interest in us per se, because again, we think that we're the most intelligent life here, right? If a creature that had no clue what the creatures were about on Earth, you know how many creatures we have on Earth? Why would they pick the human being to say this is the most?
Yeah.
You're the one I care about the most. Why wouldn't they look at the dog? Why wouldn't they look at a fish?
True.
They don't have any clue what's greater than the other. So why is the assumption that it's us that they would want, and not the alien took my dog, you know? So that's my thing with that.
Have you ever watched Twilight Zone, like the old Twilight Zone?
Yeah.
Do you know, like, To Serve Man? It's like a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think of that. It's so funny.
Yeah.
The aliens come and they have, like, a book that says To Serve Man.
Yes.
I think the aliens are going to, like, be their slaves.
Just servants.
But
and
then it's because human beings are on the menu. So it's like To Serve Man.
Right.
That's what it ends up being.
Yeah.
Like, we would be that stupid.
Truly. Because we're already thinking that, again, we're the ones that they would be the most interested in, and not, the creature at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the ocean.
I have a question. If there is other intelligent life out there somewhere, whether that is pretty human-like or not, but it's advanced, do you want us to find them?
Meaning as opposed to vice versa, like them finding us?
No, I guess you can answer it however you want. That, or even like us finding each other at all, I guess. Like, do you think our, like, astronauts stuff should be trying to find intelligent life elsewhere?
Um, so I would say yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would say yes as far as just for the understanding of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? But at the same time, no, because I feel as if we can coexist in this universe
Mm-hmm.
without knowing that we exist and without having to find each other, because it kind of goes back to the same notion, like you said, it could be so alien that it's too alien
Yeah.
for us to understand. The astronauts, for all we know, could have passed something in
Yeah.
space, right?
Yeah,
We have
yeah,
no
yeah.
clue because it wouldn't know and we
Yeah.
wouldn't know. And I think a part of our consciousness for this planet is because this is the consciousness that we have to exist here.
Mm-hmm.
An alien that's coming from somewhere else that could be a trillion stars away from us,
Mm-hmm.
um, may not even be able to conceptualize us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think at some points, yeah, if they did exist, we can all just coexist. There's enough space.
Mm-hmm.
But if we did go out there and look for signs, I'm okay with that because I would love just knowing out of
Yeah.
curiosity, you know?
Yeah, I mostly agree, like, yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because, like, it's just so interesting.
Yeah.
And, like, I just feel like if tomorrow I found out that, like, we interact with aliens, like, it'd be
Yeah.
so exciting. Like,
Right.
You know, I'm getting kind of bored with the way
Yeah.
things are. Like, it'd just be so
Yeah.
interesting. And I just think, in a way, it just opens up so many possibilities
Mm-hmm.
just in terms of science and the future and, like, what it all means. It just
Mm-hmm.
totally changes because everything we've ever known is, like, human existence only. But on the other hand, like, I think I'd be very scared.
Yeah. Like
I
in what
mean,
way?
like you said, if we're saying they're so alien, it's possible their foot is the size of, like, the earth. Like, they could just literally just, like, crush us. Or they
Right.
can, like, literally kill us all like that if they wanted to. It's possible.
Right.
It's also possible we can kill them,
Yeah.
you know, either way. But it's, like, it's possible it would be so dangerous. And, like,
Yeah.
if they do have a concept of war and they are, like, whatever way they're powerful could, like, eliminate us,
Right.
you know? Think about how we could, like, eliminate other species and stuff.
Yeah.
It can literally,
Yeah.
like, be so dangerous. So
Because there has to be a hierarchy of power in some type of way.
probably, yeah. I'm not saying it definitely would be that. It'd be
Yeah.
great if it wasn't, but, like, I feel like if I had the choice right now for that to happen or not, I would,
Mm-hmm.
and it would actually come true either way. Like, saying I don't feel like I could actually say yes, even though I'd want to, because, like,
Mm-hmm.
it literally could, like, might destroy us, might destroy the universe. Like,
Right.
I don't know what the implications would be. They could be huge.
Yeah.
You know? It's kind of scary. So.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing too, is exactly that. When you don't know what you're getting into,
Mm-hmm.
then do you tread those waters? You know, because we have no clue what finding this life could do to us.
Exactly.
Right? What if they're like radioactive or
Yeah.
something, and
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, I
and
think that's
how
why
we
most
die.
people are, like, scared of aliens.
Right.
Because of that. And, you know, obviously there's, like, horror movie crossover
Mm-hmm.
With Alien.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, like, if you say if there is always a hierarchy and, like, you see the way we've been able to just, like, destroy species. And
Right.
if we're saying there's life more intelligent than us. Yeah.
Or at
they
least
couldn't just,
equally.
like, or enslave us. I
Yeah.
mean, literally.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Due
So-
to us, what we have the possibility of doing
I
to
know.
other people.
I know.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
then I would, obviously, like, my initial reaction is just, like, self-protection, so I'm scared. But then, obviously, I wouldn't want, like, us to go destroy another
Yeah.
species or civilization or planet either, you know,
Yeah.
from, like, an ethical standpoint. I mean, I don't want us. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you, if you did depict in your mind a UFO, how do you see it? Like, how would you, if there were aliens that came here?
Aliens
do
or
you imagine
a
them
UFO?
getting here?
Not an, okay. Probably, like, not even with, like, another, not with, like,
Not with like a
ship
craft or anything?
yeah,
Okay.
they probably would just have, like, a way to
like beam themselves here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think something more like that. Kind of like time travel or teleportation or something they can like turn themselves into to like navigate.
Gotcha.
The universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. The flying saucer thing is like, why would it be?
It's a bit ridiculous.
Why would it look like that?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's a bit with the light on it because there's always this beam of light.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. It just could be anything. Like I said, I don't know. And then even like what the aliens could look like. I mean, yeah, they could just be of like gas or like.
And that's what's in my mind.
Yeah.
You know, which is why I said we have no clue what we've seen already. Like as far as, again, astronauts and people who've been to space, we have no clue what we've passed. We have no clue what has passed through here, because it really can be in a form that we cannot identify.
Yeah, and I think especially when we're talking about something so intelligent, it could just be so different. Whereas I do believe there are, because I think there are things that look like plants, similar to our plants. Maybe a bit different, but similar, and things that look like worms, similar.
Right.
Because obviously that kind of life is like really easy to create, so you know, there's no reason to think that there aren't things similar to that. But I think once you get super intelligent, there's just things could look really different.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I do. I mean, I think my biggest thing is, why would this massive, massive universe be created?
I agree.
That
it's like makes no sense.
For just life on one planet, just for us, you know,
like we're not that great.
We're not that great. No.
Like, I'd hope there's
the
something.
Human being.
I'd hope there's something better.
I would hope that there's
more,
something
like,
greater than
energetically
us.
Aligned than human beings. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Like this whole universe for just the most intelligent creature, the human being.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Are there any like movies or stories or books, anything that you like? Just either like alien or sci-fi related, or
right.
like think it has a good portrayal, or not, just enjoy it.
Yeah, not necessarily, because I've never been like a real sci-fi person, and I always feel as if things are depicted in ways that seems really silly.
Yeah.
Now, when I first watched, what was it with the kids and the whole upside down?
Stranger Things.
Yeah. So when I first watched that, if I had to somewhat conceptualize the notion of what an alien form could be, I would think more in something that you cannot touch or feel. And so if I think about a closer concept to how I would imagine it, it would be something in that way. Not as destructive, of course, and like trying to kill people.
Yeah.
But just in the way of this communication in ways that you don't really know, but it's in a different type of realm.
Yeah.
And you cannot necessarily touch it. But as far as like sci-fi and anything like that, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I agree in a way. I, in theory, would like sci-fi because I'm interested in all this, but most sci-fi isn't very, misses a lot of the sci part.
Correct.
Essentially, and it's just, too derivative and the green aliens, and I don't like a lot of it. I have a few things. I'd say I saw something probably just a few years ago that was probably one of like the best alien type movies I've ever seen. It was called Annihilation.
Okay.
And it was with Natalie Portman, I believe.
Okay.
It was actually cool because the entire cast was female. It was a group of scientists, but it wasn't like, that was when there was a lot of like female remakes, like Ghostbusters and stuff, but it wasn't marketed as that at all. It wasn't like, come see this movie with these female. It was just like not really talked about, but the whole cast were scientists and women, which I thought was very cool.
I've never even heard of it.
I don't think it did that well at the box office, but it was a cool movie. I just think they did a really good, it's not like really horror, like jump out at you horror, but it's just so unsettling that it is a bit scary.
Okay.
But I think it does a really good job, like, sort of trying to make Alien, and just, like, what the effects of, like, another worldly presence,
Mm-hmm.
an outer, world presence could be,
Mm-hmm.
and part of it, because it's, like, it's always here on Earth,
Right.
But basically one of the effects of this presence is, like, our, animals and stuff, like, and plants
Mm-hmm.
crossbreeding, and, like, all these that shouldn't be.
Okay.
So there's all these, like, now species that crossbreed and come out, like, everything's all messed up, but in a really unsettling way.
Really?
Like, things you don't want to see crossbreed. It's just like when you see, like, something that has more eyes than it should or something,
Yeah.
it's very unsettling.
Wow.
So, and then just, like, the effects it has on the human when they're around it, it just does a good job of just, like, I think, kind of making it hard to, like, conceptualize what it all can mean.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's something when I first watched it, I was like, I think I like that, and then I just, like, kept thinking more and more about it. I was like, that was, like, really interesting. I should watch it again.
And see, that's how I think about it, because I feel as if it is depicted, like I said, we can really never know, because we don't have anything to go off
Yeah.
of. So the best way to me to start off would be some type of non kind of physical,
right.
creature in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, that's how this was. Like, the actual alien presence was just, like, this, like, mist and gas, but then there were, like, scary physical manifestations because it made things on Earth crossbreed. There was, like, these scary creatures on Earth now,
That's
too.
real-
So it was
that's
all
real
really,
weird.
like, weird. Yeah. And then things just wouldn't grow properly. Like, they even somehow made, like, plant life unsettling.
Wow.
Because they made it look like it, like, grows in a way it shouldn't,
Right. Right.
And then, so that's my, like, answer that I think does it well. And then just, I have to, I think the most fun alien series is Men in Black.
I did not think that that's where you were going.
I mean, I don't think
that.
it's realistic, but I
I don't
love
think
Men
it's
in Black.
anywhere near
I know,
realistic.
it's so fun, though.
You know what? I can say it was fun. I didn't think you were going to Men in Black, but
How could you not?
yeah, I mean, it was fun, and it made it seem as if, okay, well, we can be friends with them.
Yeah.
All of that. Once we get rid of the ones
There
who's
were
trying
some
to kill us.
bad ones,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's always the case. Why do we feel as if they would want to kill us?
Right. Yeah, why are, like, we might be the bad guys. Like, why are they?
Why
The
do
bad
we make the
guys.
assumption that they're coming here to harm,
Yeah. I think they just had so much fun with so many different kinds of creatures and stuff. Yeah, I think it's just a fun way. I like when things, in fantasy or sci-fi, just, like, go, have, like, hundreds of different, imagine being, like, in the drawing room and just drawing all different, like, totally different alien creatures, big, small, different amounts of body parts.
I guess I
like,
just feel as if they just always usually look the same way, or
Yeah.
are very similar.
I know. But I was a big Men in Black.
Yeah.
So maybe that they have been here and our memories have been erased.
Could be that could be the case.
Yeah.
And again, we would never know.
Right.
Because we don't know what form they would show up in.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you have some humans here now that I think you must be possessed. So, you never really know.
Yeah.
You never know. But I mean, I would embrace the notion, because why not?
Yeah. Do you think our government should be, like, spending money and resources on
To
all
look
this?
for them?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, not to go look for them. If we're out there and we're out there doing other things, fine.
Yeah.
But, like, to invest money to actually go and look for aliens, no.
I know. I didn't realize the main program our government has to, like, look for aliens. I forget what it's called. It's just because it was some, like, some politician's pet project.
Yeah.
Because they were
Truly.
super into it. And, like, whenever it's happened, whenever a lot of money has been dumped into this. It's just because a specific politician.
Mm-hmm.
It's like their little fantasy.
Yeah.
And they dump a bunch of money into it.
Yeah.
And like.
And
like,
it's like writing your own sci-fi at that point. Yeah.
I mean, I guess they hoping that something gets found, and then it could be like their little legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And now we see it in like the private sector as well. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like if you think about the private sector trying to make its way out there, again, it's not sustainable for just like the average civilian without the aid of, I'm not saying that NASA should be end all be all.
Yeah.
As far as exploration.
I mean, they've messed up a lot.
Plenty, right? But I'm just saying right now they're pretty much the only organization that is able to sustain people outside of this atmosphere truly. Like what Branson did, great, but you're still not equipped to have gone anywhere beyond where you went, which is, I heard somebody call it upper sky, which I thought was really funny.
That's
but
good.
Yeah, you don't have it to, to sustain yourself up there. So yeah, but I mean, hey, I mean, we might get there as civilians. There might be some civilian that's gonna get out there and find something.
Right. I mean, and then there's the whole thing, like, if, we need to, like, if Earth's eventually gonna
implode.
Get eaten by the sun.
Yeah.
We'll need to be able to, like, hop over to Mars by the time that happens.
And I feel as if that's the case, then another way will be made, or we'll just all go in some other, some other creatures will exist.
I think that is what might end up happening, or I mean, all humans, and Earth will just be gone.
Yeah.
But like I said, some might escape, and then they'll be.
Yeah, but I don't. So what I don't think is that. Look, we didn't come here from what we know. Okay, could be the case, could not be the case, but from what we know, we didn't come here and it wasn't sustainable to us, and then we made it sustainable. And we could have, but I don't see where we would need to, I mean, I'm going to throw my boy Pluto out there, or my girl Pluto. I know she's been downgraded, but we don't need to necessarily go to Pluto, I think.
Yeah.
An attempt to cultivate Pluto for life. So just in case something happens on Earth, we can all run to Pluto.
I mean, Earth is going to not exist most likely at some point.
At some point, yeah.
And the question is, like, will that just be the end of humans? Especially if there's tons of life elsewhere, like...
Right.
Doesn't matter,
Yeah, I don't think it would.
Yeah, it might not.
I don't think it would. Or, I think my biggest thing is that when that happens, something would have already happened in the universe that we would be able to be there anyway. The big scattering may have, may take place, and we wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Because I do believe we're going to all be kicked off before we would die here.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It'll be just like living in spaceships, like in WALL-E. I know. Sorry, I mentioned Pixar.
Oh, now she's bringing up Pixar.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Christy's very anti-Disney and Pixar.
Anti-Disney and Pixar, yes.
Do you know that at all?
Subject for
the people are just
day.
living in spaceships, essentially, because Earth isn't habitable.
Seriously? Is that the premise? Okay.
Yeah. They were supposed to just, like, go up and come back, but then, like, Earth never got fixed, so they're just, like...
Stuck out
permanently
there?
in, like, these, like, cruises, but that's, like, spaceship cruises.
Wow.
And everyone's super fat.
I mean, because
they just, like,
anywhere.
float on, like, there's, like, these hovering chairs. They just, like, float in all day, and just, like, food gets brought to them and drinks.
And who's bringing the food?
Robots and stuff,
Of course.
Yeah.
So robots in space.
Robots in space.
Of course. Like your favorite thing. So what do you think about the government UFO files that they claim to have some real information?
Yeah, well, it got released.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It did.
I think it's kind of like what I said. Like, it shows that there's UFOs in the sense that they have a document, they have like a database of any time something's been seen, particularly by like our military, I guess, right? That they can't say for sure what it is.
Right.
And it literally means unidentified flying objects.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it could be like, obviously the main thing they're looking for is like threats from other countries.
Correct.
So I would think anyone that's into that aspect of it would be almost like kind of disappointed by it, what was released, because I would think they'd expect there to be more.
Like signs of.
Yeah, or like the
else.
government saying they know that it's aliens or
Right,
something.
right.
So that I'm like more interested from like a war kind of like terrorism aspect, just because it's like these are things in the sky, you know?
Right.
I don't know. I'm not totally into the whole like alien part of it.
Yeah.
So again, it's not interesting enough for me to be alien.
Like as far
Like a little saucer in the air, like that's just not.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case.
Alien.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that whatever they have seen, and they've obviously seen quite a bit, but I don't think that it's the case where this means alien life. And I remember that they had to get specific on that, and they made another statement afterwards and said, hold up, doesn't mean that there's, you know, alien life. It just means we did not know what this particular thing was.
Right.
Because people will kind of conflate the two and think that that's what that means.
Right. And it's funny, like Area 51, you know, everyone thinks it's like hiding all this alien research. And I was like, I think it's hiding like war research, which
right.
is like also kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. And I think that there was a podcast once that was done with this group of people who went there. It was something that somebody said they found. I can't remember specifically, but they made it a date to like all go there.
Okay.
On this certain date, and somehow they did uncover, you know, some things digging, you know. I mean, it was like they put together this code, you know, like decoded something.
Okay.
And did find some things, but yeah, I think that this is a military site that was used to hide and bury some things. And look, we could be facilitating a lot of the war against aliens, right? I mean, you can't trust us.
No, I don't.
You know? So, yeah, I think that that's what that is. I think that was more of like, it had nothing to do with aliens. It was just hiding what we were doing.
Yeah, the U.S. has a lot to cover up that has nothing to do with aliens.
Correct.
We know this.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. So I guess the conclusion is what? That there's we believe that something exists out there.
For sure.
But I am also on the fence about whether or not we are the most intelligent life.
Yeah. I mean, I like what you said, how it's like, if you think of alien being so alien, there's not like one way really to define most intelligent. So it'd be hard to even compare.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because if we have so many different species here, why do we just assume that it's just one of them?
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, I hope the universe has more to offer than us.
Than us? Yeah.
That's my hope.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but, you know, we're great and all, but, you know, I don't want us, I think that there's more to life than us.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully in our lifetime, we'll come across something.
It would be really exciting.
Yeah. Probably not, but, you know,
I know.
Who knows?
All right, well, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Good to be back.
It is. It is. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.